So the other day I was sitting in front of a client. It was very funny, and I was drinking my lemon and honey and my tea, my lemon and honey. I drink it because I need my throat. And it was very funny. We were just having a conversation, and all of a sudden there was a seed in my mouth from a lemon. And this sounds crazy, but for a few seconds I went into this little silent panic mode of, oh my God, there's a seed in my mouth. I'm going to swallow it, and the lemon tree is going to grow out of my stomach. And it just happened like this. And then all of a sudden I spit it out in the cup, and my client looked at me like, what are you doing? And I started cracking up, and I said, this is exactly how the subconscious mind works. When I grew up, and I'm sure some of you did the same, you heard this story. If you eat watermelon seeds, you're not supposed to do that. These watermelons grow in your stomach. Now, we all know this isn't true, but this is what I was told. So, I'm 54 years old, minding my own business, and I have this seed in my mouth, and it was the funniest thing. It was a knee-jerk reaction. Obviously, lemon trees aren't going to grow in your stomach if you swallow a lemon seed. But it was instant. The subconscious mind remembered this watermelon seed story, and all of a sudden, pizzazz, I have a tiny little out of sort attack, spit my lemon in a cup, and that was it. And the timing was actually perfect, because my client and I, Spirit works in some strange ways, we're actually speaking about how the subconscious mind works. And this is what happens. Your life is led by your subconscious beliefs, which were formed in early childhood. And those beliefs are called the library of associations in the subconscious mind. We adults become what we learned as children. So this is why, if you had chocolate as a child and you now like it as an adult, there's a reason for it. You were taught to like it. Or if you were told you couldn't have it, it's the first thing you're going to want now because you're a grown-up. Nobody can tell you no. In fact, you may use it to calm you down. You may use chocolate as a coping mechanism, right? Another little story. You go to a birthday party when you were a kid, and it's very exciting. Children like little birthday parties, and all of a sudden, the grand finale, the chocolate cake comes out with the little candles, and all the little presents are there, and they sing happy birthday to you, and all of a sudden, the child blows out the candle. You get to eat all the chocolate cake. You get to open up the presents, and it's great. So when you get older, you know that, I don't want to eat this chocolate cake. It isn't healthy. And for some of us, it's probably not a good idea because it may put on a few extra pounds we're not interested in. But what happens is, because the subconscious mind remembers this as a positive experience, it becomes your coping mechanism. If you're not feeling good, you're going to eat the chocolate cake. If you need to reward yourself, you're going to eat the chocolate cake. You're going to find all kinds of reasons to eat it because we've been taught that it is a happy, joyful experience. It's like heroin, you take it in. So our subconscious mind is what rules our lives. And hypnotherapy, which is one of the things I practice, let's put it that way. The reason I do it is I know that I can help people with their subconscious mind and change their perception around what it is that's disturbing their peace. So when we talk about learning to change your perceptions with judgment and forgiveness and all these videos that I've been making, by hearing this stuff over and over and over again and doing a little work with hypnotherapy if you want to, you don't have to, by writing down your new thoughts. What is the truth? Not what you've learned. What is the truth? Then you're going to start changing your perception. And even by listening to this or watching this YouTube video, you're going to start paying attention to what you're thinking and say, oh, this is a subconscious reaction. I was taught that if I'm not thin, I'm not good enough. I was taught that I'm not worthy or deserving. I was taught that if I don't work really hard and make a lot of money, I'm nothing. I was taught if I don't get straight A's in school, I'm nothing. I could go on and on and on and on and on. That it all lives in your subconscious and stems from childhood. So what you want to do is pay attention to this stuff and even let the inner child speak. What does he or she have to say about this situation? And it'd be really interesting to hear what that little child has to say. And then your logical, rational self, your higher self, may say, oh, this isn't true. You're judging yourself for buying into the misbelief that you're good enough because you were good enough by just being born. So remember that seed and my knee-jerk reaction. But the good news is, because I've practiced and I do this work, I caught it and I found it was funny. It was very funny, actually. And I know through some of my other experiences, I may go into a unhealthy way of thinking, but I've done a lot of, I practice this stuff. So I'm able to quickly say, whoa, 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 whoa. You can choose to think this way, or you can change your thoughts and find peace. What would be better? And then even though it is difficult, I will change my thoughts. Here's another example, which really, really taught me, it reinforced the power of the mind. I went with my husband to a hardware store. And I don't think I've told this story yet. If I have, forgive me, but I don't think I have. I went to this hardware store with my husband because I had been lying around and I just didn't want to go anywhere. I wasn't feeling good, but I thought, well, he does everything alone, so I'm going to go. And the minute, we drove to the store and it was fine. And I had my little cane and I was walking up the ramp because we had gotten to the store. And the minute I started walking up the ramp, I realized, uh-oh, I don't feel good. This is a bad decision. And I'm not supposed to overtax my brain. It's very, for me, it makes me go backwards, not forwards. The brain needs to heal. So I walk up the ramp, go into the store. It's all white, so it's stark and bright. The music's very loud, which is fine. I used to love loud music, but now my brain can't handle it. Hopefully that's going to change. And there were things everywhere. And I could hear the children screaming and crying, some of them. I could hear the wheels on the carts. I could see things in pink and red and blue and whatever. I mean, it was like crazy. And I was in there for about 15 minutes, and I really didn't feel good. But I was trying to distract myself looking at, the hammer that I didn't know could have a pink handle. I thought that was cute. And I was interested. I mean, this stuff was great. And what I was really interested in was my husband was looking at the things for like wood shop stuff. And he was so excited about it. And that, made me happy. And then I didn't feel good. So I said to my husband, Michael, I said, I want you to have fun. I want you to look at this hardware store. And I'm going to go sit in the car. Don't worry about me. Take your time. I'm totally fine. I don't mind sitting in the car. Just please don't let me stop you from enjoying yourself. Stay here as long as you need to. And he said fine, because he understood. And I went into the car, hobbled back in. And here I am sitting in the car feeling miserable. And I want to cry because I'm thinking, what the hell? How long is this going to last? I can't take it anymore. I can't even go to a damn hardware store. This is absurd. I couldn't take it. And all of a sudden, I've had the air conditioning on. It helps with my nausea. And all of a sudden, I sat back and thought, I was so present. I call it microscopic presence. I could feel that air conditioning on my face. And all of a sudden I thought, this is so nice just to enjoy the air conditioning. When is the last time you sat there and just enjoyed that cool breeze on your face and enjoy every single second of it? And then all of a sudden I started being miserable again, thinking, but wait a minute, I shouldn't just have to sit here thinking about air conditioning. Hear that word, I shouldn't? Then I turned on the music and my husband had on some jazz music. And this woman was singing, and she had the most incredible voice I've ever heard. I was shocked. And I was just stunned for a minute, and I was listening to her. And then all of a sudden, I went back into that, I'm a victim, right? And there are a lot of people that have it worse than I do, right? It's not just me. I'm not better than anyone else. Sometimes things happen to all of us. It's how life is. We have lessons to learn. So I thought to myself, and this all happened within, 5-10 minutes. So I thought to myself, Rochelle, you can choose to enjoy the air conditioning. Be grateful that you can feel the air conditioning and have the ears to hear this incredible music. You can be grateful that you can just sit here, close your eyes, and enjoy this moment. Or you can choose to catastrophize your thoughts. Well, here's what was interesting. It took a minute for me to my mind started going to catastrophizing, because you see, this is what we learn. This is what's in our subconscious mind. If something happens, you're in big trouble. So you better start panicking. You better just be miserable, because that's the way it's supposed to be. And I actually had to fight to say, wait a minute, no, 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 no. This doesn't feel normal. This is uncomfortable, but I know this from experience. I'm going to choose to change my thoughts because what's happening to me isn't right. It isn't wrong. It is. Maybe my lesson right here and now in this lifetime is to learn how to be present without making anything right or wrong and enjoy the air conditioning and to this wonderful woman's voice and be at peace and be grateful that right here and now I'm okay. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Can't get yesterday back. But right here and now, what if I were to choose to let all this catastrophizing go of why not, what should be, who, what, whatever? Why should I judge myself as a sick person, a recovering person? Why can't I let all that go and say, this is really nice? Well, let me tell you something. This experience really helped me because it reiterated what I know and what I'd been practicing. But this was an extreme case because I was pretty sick. It was not a good day. Let's put it that way. And I'd come off about 5 really bad days that I had to fight and wrestle with my mind and learn how to accept that this is the way it is right now. It's okay. It's not right. It's not wrong. My lesson is to learn to accept it and find what peace I can with whatever that is, even if it's staring at the artwork on my wall, which is actually a pleasure to do, or the hummingbird in my garden. And that's what I did in that car. But back to the subconscious mind. We learn to catastrophize. And when you try to do something differently, it's uncomfortable. So you have to walk through the fire to get through the other side. And we're scared to go through that fire and feel discomfort. So what we're going to do is we're going to just stay with what we know and be miserable. But if you can be strong and have the courage to walk through that fire, knowing it's going to be a little uncomfortable, but once you get to the other side is when you will find peace. And that is how you're going to start changing the patterns that your subconscious mind is cemented within itself, because anything learned can be unlearned. And I can tell you, I've done it many times. I just told you one of my stories. And it was hard, but I did it because I knew I needed to. Because really, the lesson was, look at what you have right now. Some people can't hear. Some people don't have air conditioning. I felt good right then and there. Why would I want to ruin that experience? Because it's wrong the way I have to learn it or live it or enjoy it? So challenge yourself. The next time you're feeling some difficulty, change the way you think around it. Stop judging yourself. Identify the judgment. Forgive yourself for judging. And then change your thoughts. Lesson of the day.